Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hooray!
What's going on, dude?
I'm in need of a haircut.
Yeah, yeah. I think I was lucky enough to get in like the last day the barber shop was open.
Yeah, so I was gonna get my hair cut. Let's see, I was planning on getting it cut like last week. Like that's when I was gonna get it cut anyway. And then all this stuff started, and I'm like, well,
Hmm. So much for that.
yeah, no haircut for me.
I think you'll live.
I mean, I'm fine. It's just,
Yeah,
I mean, like, I'd prefer not to be as mangy as I am. It's
yeah.
fine.
You'll just look like Tom Hanks in Castaway by the end of April. There
All right, I could live with that.
you go.
Speaking of Castaway, yeah, I'm gonna look like crazy skinny too, because like my kids are not heavy enough to use as dumbbells. I use them as like there's a thing you do with a sandbag where it's basically like a snatch off the ground to the shoulder. So it's similar to
Yeah.
like your like when you're trying to do an Atlas stone, like practicing, like it's one motion, all posterior chain stuff. So I started with Lucy, and like I was picking her up, and I was like, man, she's too light. And I went to Ava, and she weighs like 55 pounds or something. I'm like, oh, actually, like, after 20, 10 reps on each side, that gets,
Yeah.
that was a little bit. And then
When
I
she
told,
finished throwing up on you.
yeah, they both, I mean, they both had a blast. So
Oh, that's good. No.
good night, little lady. Um, yeah, other than that, it's been like my buddies, had a brilliant idea. Like we started playing poker online together.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
we hop in like a chat room, so we're talking the whole time too. And like we were on Discord video chatting, and we were in a tournament on this site, and like sometimes we're all at the same table, and we'll like cheat. We'll be like, "Hey, what do you have?" Hey Charlie, what do you got? Or like, "Oh guys, I just got the nut flush. Everybody drop out."
Oh my god.
And
Uh,
we just talk shit in the chat. Like we just talk about everybody. Like anytime anybody's on a hot streak, we just keep calling them bots. And like most people don't respond, but we finally did get a dude last night. He started responding. He was actually like, one of them was like, "Oh, this is the best quarantine ever. Poker all night. Hell yeah."
God. Remember when online poker was like huge?
Yeah, back
Back
when
in
I
like
was in high school.
2006,
Yeah,
2007? Yeah.
yep, yeah. That's before the government shut down a lot of the online betting stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow DraftKings and FanDuel just slipped under the radar there for a while.
Game of skill. Game of skill. Game of
Yeah.
skill. Do you not remember that? I
Oh,
think John Oliver did a bit on it where like he did a piece on it where like all of these people had like giant signs and they were at I don't remember if it was like a regulatory body or something and they all had signs that said game of skill and they were all doing the same chant, game of skill. And they're like, man, it was a really organized group of people that really want to play DraftKings. Who were they? Oh, they were DraftKings employees. That makes sense. Okay.
yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was crazy. I can't believe how long the DraftKings and FanDuel went on for a little while.
Well, I mean, it's still isn't
It
is it
it's
is it
still
not a thing?
going. It's still going, but I can't imagine it's as popular as it was for a couple of years. Because once people figured out that basically employees for other websites were winning,
Oh yeah.
yeah, pretty much algorithms beat the crap out of people every time. No surprise.
Yeah, I remember like watching um the not BBC, BP Sports, watching their feeds and seeing a lot of ads for like Betfred, um, Paddy Power,
Hmm.
Bet One, all of these betting. apps and sites, and I was like, man, do they have like a severe gambling problem in Great Britain? Like, 'cause or maybe not a yeah it's got to be a problem. There's no
Yeah,
way there's that many gambling sites or gambling apps and people aren't abusing it or losing like their houses.
that's one thing I've never understood. I've never like just gambling in general has never really been a vice for me or something that I've had that desire to do. I don't know.
I mean, I so it's not so I get addicted to things very quickly, and then I also um I try to get really good at something. Like the first time I do it, I'm like, if I'm not at a pro level, I feel like shit. So I'm like, oh, I gotta
Oh, yeah.
practice and get. It's
Healthy
like, dude,
mentality. Yeah.
we're playing Flip Cup at Christmas with your family. It's like, fuck them, bro. Let's get in there. Let's do this. Um, no, so they're my grandparents. They go to Las Vegas every year, and they have for ever. And I used to go with them. So we used to drive. That's how I've been to like most of the states in the
Hmm.
United States, and I've been most of the national parks because we would drive out there. It was like my whole summer, but it would always, the middle of the would be so we'd drive there. We'd spend 2 or 3 weeks in Vegas, and then we would drive back.
Damn.
So, yeah, they gambled a lot, like quite a bit, and because of that, like I grew up around all that stuff, and I learned a lot of the things. Like they play video poker mostly. My grandma like. So what I learned is slots are a sucker's bet every single time.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you just turn your brain off and just press a
Yeah.
button. So that's the sucker's bet, and then you have like actual, card games, and it's like obviously roulette's terrible, and there's a bunch of other things. But my grandparents really like they're not, outgoing people, especially my grandfather. So they don't like they're not interested in playing games with other people. So they play video poker, and I learned all the odds at a young age, and I learned that based off of certain payouts, like there's a pay scale for different poker machines. They all have a different pay scale based off of like how much you get if you get a flush or four of a kind, that kind of thing. And then there's also obviously the jackpot, the bonuses. Like, do they give a bonus for a royal? Do they give a bonus for four of a kind, like aces and whatever? So with all those odds in hand, and then also learning how to play video poker, like playing the odds correctly, what you can do is if you do everything perfect, there's actually a way over a long period of time to make money doing it.
Hmm.
Not much. What it does is it swings the odds 51% in your favor. So it's one of the few games on the floor that you get a higher or a higher odds of winning than the house. It's 51-49 with a certain pay scale. And then with other pay scales it's 50-50 and then 49. So it's usually pretty close. And then
Yeah.
the jackpot things like added in. All of this to be is all of this just means that if you enjoy playing video poker and you enjoy gambling, it's a low risk way to do it because in the long run you're going to end up coming out like even. You're going to break even. So if you enjoy doing
Interesting.
it and you break even, it's not a bad way to play. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
grew up with that. I grew up with that.
That's.
And then of course my grandfather, like we would always watch, World Series of Poker on on ESPN,
I
and
remember when that
that
was
was
huge.
yes, yeah, yeah. That was the same time that
Yeah.
online poker became a big deal. All these guys were sponsored by Party Poker. They were sponsored by Poker Stars, um, Carbon Poker. I remember all these guys were just sponsored by every. They were all like the shit. I still remember some of the guys like Phil Ivey. Oh man, what was that guy who always wore
Doyle
like the
Brunson.
cowboy hats? Yes. Oh, him. He writes the books. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I've read a couple books on poker and I've learned odds and I played as a kid. And, like we would have tournaments with all my friends and we would do actual buy-ins, so people would
I
play
think that was something
serious.
our generation just did a lot of too. Because I did the exact same thing in high school. Like there would just be poker tournaments on the weekends at other people's houses. Like, that was a pretty regular thing.
Yeah, there was like at one point there was like a multi-table, like there was like a five
Oh,
table
jeez.
tournament. Yeah. Um and like I built my own poker table, for my house here. I ended up selling it.
Oh, that's a shame.
But
That was a nice table.
my buddy has it, so it's not a big
Oh,
deal. It's over at
fair
his
enough.
house. But yeah, that like I really enjoy playing poker, but I also understand that I have an addictive personality and that if I made it my profession and I was super good at it over the long haul, like do I think I could make money doing it? I know I could, but I wouldn't enjoy it anymore. And it's one of those things like I really do just do it to enjoy it. So I
Exactly.
I keep it with my buddies.
And that's a good call, which was fun back in the day when I actually lived in the area.
Yeah. So I love poker so much. Like I really
Okay.
do. It's like it's one of those times where like talking shit and making fun of your friends, like it really comes out and you get to, like you just get to rag on people even when they're doing like the right thing. Like you just call like you just be like, "Oh, you're folding, you pussy." Like
Oh yeah.
even when they're doing something smart, you just get to like I don't it doesn't even matter. Like my buddies' wives have played and like my girls have been there. It's so much fun. Like you just get to sit and talk, and while you're doing it, you get to take your friend's money. So,
Oh yeah. Hey, just a little bit.
uh, yeah, I have like this quarantine stuff, which it's not even a quarantine. It says what are they calling it? S-
Shelter in place.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
It's made
No,
me
no one's
realize like
enforcing anything.
no,
No.
yeah, it made me realize that like my life isn't much different. Like I am missing the gym quite a bit, but other
Okay.
than that,
Yeah.
it's not that much different than how I normally live, dude.
I know.
What are you guys doing? I saw
Uh.
you sent me pictures of the fucking mountain, jackass.
Oh yes, I'm getting outside a lot. Which I mean, perfect time anyway, because springtime here. So that's been nice. But we're trying to basically we have to start figuring out a new schedule because Miranda just got laid off because everyone's just getting laid off
Yeah, I
right now.
remember that.
Yeah. So I mean, we're doing some spree cleaning basically, just reorganizing the house. Uh, I'm in some college classes. She's finishing up her last week of her current class right now, so we have that going on. And then my work hooked us up with I think 3 free months of what's called LinkedIn Learning.
Oh, I've
Yeah,
never heard of that.
it's basically like LinkedIn offers a bunch of different like certification avenues that you can go through, like programs that you can learn. Basically, just a way to like expand your you know business knowledge through LinkedIn.
Huh.
I don't know what the actual cost is, but you usually can do like a 1 month free trial. And I think what they're trying to persuade because they got my work got 75 slots for basically our unit because we're all stuck at home anyway for
Okay.
3 months, and I think they're going to try and talk into basically it being just a regular thing that they keep up throughout the year for us to utilize.
Huh.
Yeah,
Another
I'm
one of those
curious. So
positives.
yeah, I'll get access to it tomorrow at some point, so I'll be able to like start messing around and checking it out to see what they have to offer. But I mean, it's mostly just like learning certifications and all different types of you know office programs and things like that, and whatever else. I haven't looked at the portfolio of what they offer, but they have like 300 different classes or something you could take through it.
Huh.
I know, super exciting stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know LinkedIn offered that kind of stuff.
I just made my LinkedIn profile for the first time like last week so that they could get an email for it. So I was just learning now what LinkedIn is all about. Just interesting.
It's Facebook, but for businesses
Based
and
basically.
getting a job.
Yeah. Face job.
Yeah, it's LinkedIn was I don't know. I always feel uncomfortable like posting I never use it. I just used it to like post resumes. Nothing ever came about it, but I feel really uncomfortable like putting a resume on like a social networking site
It is a lot of information they want. Like
Yeah,
a lot. Like if I was to put out like, oh hey, this is who I am as a freaking human being in my basically entire history. Here you go. Like it's interesting.
yeah. I don't know. Like I don't use Facebook anymore except for Facebook Marketplace. I started using Twitter again, and I have kept it extremely positive. Um, I've stayed away from the Twitter traps of going negative, and I've been like, I've kept it like like I follow almost exclusively MMA fighters, boxers, and then like some NBA stuff. So I've kept it like to sports, and even then stuff just slips through. Like, do you realize how much porn is on Twitter?
Nope. I've heard, but
A lot.
I yeah,
And it's I have not subscribed, I'm not following, I'm not communicating, I'm not. I promise, man. Come on, dude. You gotta trust me on this one. Like, I don't know how those boobs got there. They're not mine. Um, someone put them in my pocket. Um, are these your pants? Um, there's like this thing where if someone I follow likes a post from someone else, it'll show up in my feed.
Hmm.
And I'm sure I could edit it, but it's relatively rare, except when there's like something happens and someone will post it, and I had it for a while where I blocked like explicit content or mature content, but it was blocking a lot of people's videos.
oh
Regard,
yeah.
yeah. So I was like, oh, I'll
Because
just turn that off.
they just have a big qualifier of mature content. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I was like, oh, I'll just turn that off so I could actually just see people's instead of having to click on every single one. And then
And
like,
boobs.
yeah, it's not a lot. It's just surprising how much seeps through my selective. Like I said, I've been very selective of who I follow,
Hmm.
and even then, it's just like, hey, here's someone snatch. I'm like, great, man. That's not. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm drinking coffee. Like this is it. It's not the time for this.
Yeah, I've done a pretty good job of pretty much unplugging from Facebook. And I still use Instagram, but honestly mostly just for workout stuff. Like I follow a select group of people and then a select group of like active fitness people just to like ping workout ideas off of them. And that's pretty much all I use Instagram for at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was using it for when I was still on it. Was posting workout videos and doing all that crap. But I don't know, man. Instagram for me was just a giant time suck. Cause
I
at least
can I can see how it becomes that.
yeah,
Absolutely.
you just scroll through and you just see like, oh hey look, that guy's doing push-ups off of a truck. Oh, that guy's doing like he's doing handstands on the Sears Tower. That's pretty fucking cool. And it's not that it's not cool. That's the thing. It like the
Yeah.
stuff that is on there is cool. So you just keep scrolling through. That's one of the reasons I got rid of Facebook. Like
Oh,
I remember,
Facebook is a black hole time machine.
yeah, man.
It'll take you an hour into the future.
Like I remember scrolling. I forget the last time I really used Facebook was so long ago. Other than Marketplace, Marketplace on Facebook is fantastic. That should just be their business model from now on. It's like old ladies who want to stay in contact with their sons who never visit,
Yeah.
and buying bicycles and furniture.
Yep.
That's Facebook now. But yeah, they do it. They do a really good job with their marketplace stuff because you get to see like the profile. It connects things.
Yep.
It's not as weird as Craig. I never had a problem with Craigslist. You
Yeah, I
just use
used
common
Craigslist
sense.
before. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I bought. That's how I bought my motorcycle.
Yeah.
The guy was on
I got
marketplace.
I got an apartment through Craigslist. Like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
one I lived in Westmont. Yeah, that's how I found out about it.
Um, yeah. There was a time where I was like I would just be scrolling on my phone for hours and hours. I'm like, geez, I gotta stop, dude. I downloaded TikTok because a lot of the fighters were posting videos. Hey, give me a second here. Shut up. All right,
Go.
dude. I'm old. I don't know what all
I
these
want to hear
fans,
this.
what these kids are doing. Here, do you know what TikTok is? It's this. and boobs. It's nothing but boobs. Again, more boobs everywhere. Boobs, boobs, boobs. It's just these girls looking for
Listen,
attention. It's so annoying.
and what do you think drives Instagram's business model? It's also boobs. Every
Okay, listen, Robert,
fitness
California.
and boobs.
Everything is sex. I get it,
Yeah.
but that's
Let's look at the top like 100 people on Instagram that have followers, and it's probably mostly boobs
or butts. Butts are
or
big
butts.
on
Butts,
Instagram. I
yes,
noticed that.
that is
Yeah,
true.
but yeah, like I said, I don't use Instagram anymore, so I don't post pictures of my butt.
How many people with over 1 million followers on Instagram are basically just fitness models?
Who wants to see pictures of my ass? Are there going to be clothes on? Barely any. Oh, perfect. Yes, I would like that. No, they're like So I downloaded TikTok because like a lot of the fighters were posting videos on there. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, this might be fun. And I missed out on Vine.
I did too. I caught that too late. It disappeared before I really got into it.
Right, right. So I missed out on Vine because the phone I had at the time wasn't very good. And like I really wasn't into social media. It was before I got into anything else. So Vine just kind of came and went before I really got into it. But I have like gone down like a black hole of watching old Vines and they're hilarious. So I was like,
Amazing.
I know. So I was like, oh, so a lot of TikTok is just Vine. So I'm like, oh, okay, these are pretty funny. But dude, it is,
It's different.
it's not. It's not that. It is 9 out of the 10 videos involve somebody doing a stupid dance or a chick with like her boobs or butt in the screen. And I'm like, okay, forget it. It's like watching it the first season of
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. It's
It's like
like
chat
I'm good.
roulette.
Oh God, I do remember that. That was fun.
Oh, that was ridiculous. Do you know what I never thought about till just now? Because 90% of chat roulette was just guys masturbating on screen. Like, how did no one ever get arrested? Because there
Because there's
had to
nothing
have.
illegal.
Well, unless you have like
No,
a
there's a
15-year
user
old,
agreement. No, 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 no,
unless you have
no,
a 15-year-old kid browsing chat roulette. It
no,
doesn't
no, no,
matter
no.
what user agreement you
I
sign.
almost guarantee you there was an 18 plus agreement that you had to click before you went in. So it's like in order to get into chat roulette, I think you had to click a button because my buddies and I did it when we were in the Navy one time,
I don't
twice.
think that
It was
absolves
fun.
you though. Just because you, I don't
No,
think
it
that
does.
that might
It
absolve chat roulette of legal ramifications, but I don't think that legally absolves a person,
Yes. No, okay. Here's the deal.
like
Like
from a criminal standpoint.
so maybe a little bit. And I'm not excusing perverts or people who are, sexual predators swooping in like a sexual predator. I've been watching a lot of The Office. Sorry. A lot of these quotes are going to be from The Office.
It's okay. I'm probably going to be there in like 3 days.
I mean, I already watch a ton of The Office, but now it's on while I'm working out, while I'm on the bike, while I'm watching other shows,
Yeah.
while I'm read. No, I'm kidding. All right. So, um, I remember in chat roulette, right? There was a button that you had to click before you got into like the whole thing where you're seeing videos or pictures or whatever. So there's that. And I'm guessing there was a notice on it that said 18 plus. That's the same thing that adult websites use. That absolves them from any legal snafus. Then anybody entering that site assumes that everybody is 18 plus. Hold on.
All right, I'm listening.
So the person who's doing those things and the time that they're doing them in the short amount of time with the lack of accountability and the lack of like identification and all that stuff that was because this was 12 years ago. This is before people could just ping IP addresses super fast, right? This is before like the need for a VPN. And because of all that, like I'm guessing if someone had a prolonged experience, let's put it that way, on there, like there could be some legal ramifications. but because of the nature of the website itself, I don't know if that was the case.
I don't know. I remember there was a semi like famous case. I think when I was in high school, that's when I'd heard about it. But it was some guy in Indiana he was 19 or 20 years old who slept with a girl that was 15 or 16 who had told him that she was 18. And then at the actual like it was either his appeal hearing or at the actual like hearing for the trial, the girl's parents testified on his behalf, saying that like she had a fake ID and she had been doing
I
this
do
because like
remember this. Yes.
yeah, but he still ended up getting like 15 years in prison or something.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
Yeah,
How does that work?
I like I said, I think that absolves chat roulette or like whatever those websites of legal ramifications, but I don't think it matters for the person.
Huh.
Even yeah,
Well, I just mean in general too. So like if someone is well here's one. Let's say someone steals someone's identity. Okay?
hmm
Maybe there has been a case like this. So like, let's say a 17-year-old, let's 16 because I don't think that's legal in any state except for like Iowa or Idaho. There's like one state or some weird one. So let's say a
Germany.
16-year-old, yeah. Um, so let's say a 16-year-old steals someone's identity, okay, and they're
hmm
doing like a professional job at it, right? So I know this is a crazy, for instance, but let's say a 16-year-old steals someone's identity. They've got identification, they've got social, they've got everything, right? And they can impersonate this person who's of age, right? And they do, like, I know, I think it was in Liar Liar. Remember when that, remember they're like, your marriage didn't count because you were underage.
Did you ever watch the Legal Eagle analyze it, like
Yeah,
analysis of that? I
yeah.
think he like broke down that based like I don't know that's like a different thing state to state. All right, here's the thing that this makes me think of a bar. A bar is still responsible if they let someone underage in with a fake ID.
Okay, no, but here's the thing. Like, we have a real ID. Somebody stole someone's
But
identity.
even
Like,
but even if a fake ID is like back when they were printing IDs in China and shipping them to the U.S., so ostensibly it was like a
when were
real
they
ID.
doing that?
I remember that back when I was in high school. People were
Damn
like
it. I never
buying
got any of
IDs
this.
online
Dude,
from China. Yeah,
shit. I missed out on all the cool stuff.
it's all right. I was a square, so I didn't do any of the cool stuff either. But yeah, that was the thing. Like you could buy basically like fake driver's license from China. They'd like ship them, which is by the way super illegal.
No way.
Yeah, super illegal. Don't do that. But also like I still think there's some like it's not going to be the same level of liability, but there's some level of liability on the bar too, even if you steal someone's identity if they serve.
How? How is that their responsibility?
I don't know.
If they have a card that says, I am 21 years
Hold
old,
on. I'm gonna use my internet legal training. Does it go to reasonable person defense? Like, would a reasonable person be able to recognize? Like,
what if they have a full beard
I don't really know how
and they're a
all that.
woman?
You got me. Like, if we're gonna talk whether they
Your
should or
Honor,
should
this
not be
bearded
held liable,
lady.
that's one thing. But whether they can legally, I think they still can.
How? That's not fair.
No.
Well, no, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. It's
there's
like
there's a lot of shit that's not fair in the U.S. legal system.
it's like if someone walks in who looks like me, right?
Yeah.
And like steals someone's ID. Like, cause I just look like a toddler with a beard, really. So if someone like me walks in with an ID, right, that says my age on it and it's a real ID, right? Whatever. And I walk in and I get drinks, like how is that anybody's responsibility? Except for I'm the criminal.
Listen, we're probably not getting very far because neither of us know anything about
I don't
liability
care. We're
law
gonna
or like
analyze
criminal
this
law when
now.
it comes to the ATF. All right, we're just gonna call up the ATF and ask them would they charge a bar if they served
All
someone
right.
who stole someo's identity. Like that's just what we're gonna do. I think the closest I've come to that is actually calling poison control one time in high school when a bunch of friends and I did the gallon challenge, and they were like, "You should," yeah, they're like, "You should call an ambulance." I was like, "Oh no, we're fine."
Wait, the gallon of milk or gallon of water?
Gallon of milk. Yeah, the
Yeah,
person for poison control was like, "You should call an ambulance if you're doing this, or if you finish it." I was like, "We're fine."
I never
By the
tried
way,
it.
we weren't fine. I think like 3 people threw up, one, and then
Well,
two
that makes
people
sense.
finished, and one of the finish was lactose intolerant. It was not a good. I know. uh,
Oh God. Yeah, I think I could do that.
the other person that finished it half of their gallon with chocolate milk, which just I don't know if that helped or hurt them.
No, that hurts. That's
I
worse. Why would you
I would
do that?
I don't know. He's just interesting times.
Yeah, I remember that lady died from drinking too much water. This was when the Nintendo Wii was really popular. Um,
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, there was a radio station that had a contest like, if you could drink the most water, you can win a free Nintendo Wii. And a
Huh.
woman died because she drowned herself.
Because you can overhydrate. It's
Yeah,
a thing.
she oversaturates your cells and
Yeah, don't
drowns you
have
from the inside out.
don't have food or drinking challenges. Someone's gonna fuck up.
Well, food challenges are fine.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm serious. Like most of them are fine. It's like I've always wanted to do one, and I'm always like I'm at the point now where like when I go to a restaurant, like I'm asking like if it's a restaurant I haven't been to before, like, hey, do you guys have any food challenges here?
I would love to do basically just the hot ones challenge. Like just go through and do every single sauce that they have on
I
the
have all
regular
of them.
season. You, where'd you get them?
What? Charlie bought them for me.
Oh, you suck. Listen,
Yeah,
if you find out where to actually get them, I will get them, and then we'll just do. Yeah, fine. Just show off. I see how it's gonna be. Like a Brennan, just running in the background. Ah, man. Yeah, this is what happens when we're all shutting doors for like 2 weeks until whoever knows how long. I think I'm just gonna have to go out and get some hot sauce and toilet paper. I was actually just thinking, if we
so
do this, we better both stock up on toilet paper.
dude, it's I so what I recommend is preparing first of all. So let me unblur my screen so those are the people watching this at home. All right, so
It's
the
the
sauce,
bomb, right?
yeah. So the sauce that everybody has a problem with is the bomb. So this
Yeah.
one I bought. So I watch it. I watched the show enough to where I saw people eating this, and I was like, that's the hardest one to get through. So I'm gonna order 2 of these because they had a sale on Amazon. I'm like, fuck yeah, cool.
Nice.
So I start. So I'll tell you right now, like you got to be super careful with this stuff because if you touch your fingers, like, and you touch your eye, it's like getting OC sprayed. It's fucking terrible. I
So,
had it happen.
Coronavirus rules apply. Got it.
Yeah. So if you can see that on my finger, just a little bit. So right now it tastes like
This
like
is
a
a
bunch
great
of
idea.
hot pennies. So I acclimated myself to that one. So I started tasting all the other ones, and I was like, man, none of these are very hot. Some of them are really good too, by the way. Like the pineapple one, dude. I went through that in like 2 weeks.
So
And
here's my
then
idea. We just do a Hot Ones episode between me and you. We'll just go through and just start killing wings.
so here is the hottest one. This is the
Last app.
last dab. Not as hot as you think. And I think it comes down to concentrations, and I'm pretty sure. So for comparison, I can put as much as I just put on my finger, I can put that in an entire bowl of chili, and it'll make the entire bowl hot.
Yes.
If you put a drop of this in a pot of chili, everyone's going to be burning their mouth. No joke. I'm not kidding. This stuff, on the other hand, it tastes phenomenal. So this stuff tastes like shit.
It's just a nuclear bomb in your mouth.
Dude, it's 100%. It tastes like almost pure capsaicin. Like there's no like very little flavor. There's a little sweetness on the end once you get through the burn, but if you're eating something with it in it, you're never going to get through that point. It's just going to burn the whole time. And it tastes fine. Like if you're just adding heat to something, I actually enjoyed it. I started putting it in all my food. So, downside of the bomb in all of your food. So I've never experienced hot farts I've had before, but I've never experienced like a burning butthole before. Never. To this day, still have not. I don't know what that feels like. But I will tell you, I had a lot of blood in my stool when I was eating that, and I was like, "Oh, so I either have an ulcer." Like I did something to my innards because I was putting it in everything. I'm like, I'm gonna get used to this one, and I was putting it all over everything. Like I'm sweating.
You hurt your butt. That's what happened. You hurt your beehole.
People are looking at me like like when I'm eating at work. People are looking at me because I'm going. You're like, what the fuck?
It's just a turkey sandwich. What's going on?
Yeah, and I remember I gave it to a dude who was like, being all Billy Badass at work, and he's like, "Oh man, I can handle heat. That can't be that hot. I watch people do this all the time," and blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right, and I told him, I'm like, hey,
cool story, bro.
I was like, it's really hot. Please be careful. The reason I use my pinky is because it's the least likely to touch my eye later. I'm gonna go wash my hands after this, but so, he takes like, I tell him, I'm like, basically just coat like the tip of your pinky, just like a thin line of it. Do not put a drop in there. It's gonna kill you. Like it's gonna make you feel like it's just gonna burn your mouth. And he goes like, "Oh, it's no big deal, man. I know spicy stuff. I eat Thai food. Blah 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 blah." I'm like, "All right, jackass." So then he like puts a drop of it on his pinky, and he puts it right on his tongue. It's instant. It coats your entire mouth instantly. I don't know how that's possible. I don't know if it has to do with the physics of how water works with surface tension and emulsification and any other chemistry words, but dude, it coats your mouth instantly and it burns. And like this dude, he was in an all-out sprint. Oh, my nose is clearing up now though. This is fantastic.
There you go. Yeah.
So he's like in an all-out sprint to the bathroom, and I go in there and he's like got his head underneath the faucet, like dude, you're like, I told you, moron. But yeah, I have all the sauces. My favorite sauce was Los Calientes so far. And it's so good. I was putting on all my tacos, like that. I ran out of it. That's how much. The pineapple one was so. So here's the thing. Each one I found has a specific use that I like it for. So Da Bomb, I never put that in a taco. That's asking for a bad night.
Oh god.
Well, it's just. Well, because the amount you have to put in there to get an even spread throughout a taco or like a little burrito wrap or anything like that, the amount that you have to put in, dude, you're going to die. So don't do that. So like something like a taco, I was using Los Calientes because it's like it's more mild. It's still spicy as shit, so it's still good. But you can spread it out and get like a little bit in every bite. The Da Bomb is really good for liquids like soups and chili and that kind of stuff. And then the Last Dab, that one's a hard one to find for because it doesn't have a strong enough flavor to where, or like it has a lot of flavor, which means I don't want to just use it to spice up some chili. So I'm not going to waste it like that. But it's hot enough to where if I coat my taco in it, like I might die. So I don't know if that's the best idea. So I haven't found a good use for that one yet.
So we do a chili competition at my work every single November, right before Thanksgiving. And we get 2 awards. One is for best tasting, and the other one is for hottest. And I'm strongly tempted now to just fucking nuclear bomb my entire work.
Honestly, they sell pure capsaicin, right?
But like, oh yeah.
Like, so I think this is only like a 250,000 on the Scovilles. It's not even that hot. Because this is 3 million.
But
it has to do with the concentrations.
The effect it has is undeniable. And that's...
Yeah, I would... If you want to do like something super hot, so pure capsaicin, like in OC spray, the stuff that they train... Did you have to do it?
Oh yeah, way back in the day.
Okay, so that stuff that they spray our eyes with and make us run that course is 15 million Scovilles.
That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. So
All
one of the
right, that
guys,
makes a lot more sense now.
on our ship, he was immune. Like there's a small percentage. So capsaicin really only affects mammals. There's a receptor that we have for it. It's not just that it's an acid and that it's burning your mouth. It has a specific response to stop mammals from eating certain things because they crush the seeds.
Wait.
So certain plants, if they would become spicier, right? So like the spicier a pepper, the less likely a mammal would eat it. So the more likely it would germinate. Because, like I said, the mammals would crush the seeds, and for some plants, that's not good. So, some mammals have an immunity to it, or they don't have the response, including humans. And one of the guys on my ship had it. Like when he got sprayed with OC, it was just like wiped his eyes. He's like, "Yeah, that's cool, whatever." And it was like an irritant. Like he was like, he had his eyes hurt because he got something sprayed in his eyes, but it was like getting water sprayed in your eye. This guy he introduced me to my first hot sauce, like real hot sauces. He had this stuff called Satan's Blood, which at the time was pure. It's I would think it was ghost chili extract, and I remember trying like a little bit of that, and it probably was similar to how Da Bomb feels. Like I remember at the time, I was like, man, that's way too hot, and I had like a bowl of noodles, and he gave me this other one. And he's like, "Oh, this one's way more mild." And I'm like, "Does it taste good, or is it just gonna kill me?" And he's like, "No, it tastes really good." So I dumped it in there like I dumped freaking Cholula, and then I do it, and the bowl like the noodles changed color to orange, like it was like a Alfredo sauce. So like it became a red sauce. That's how much I put in, and like I take like 2 bites. I'm like, dude, this is so good. Like this tastes really good. And I kept eating, and then it hit me. It just was nonstop burn. Like, and then he's laughing the whole time, like, ha, you're gonna die. And I'm like, yeah, this is hilarious. And like
my body's in pain.
the galley was closed, so I was like, I couldn't even go get milk. I'm like, come on, this sucks. So what I ended up doing was like I still had my my freaking coveralls on, and I just ran into the shower and just went like and turned the shower on to like dude,
did y'all have to do a regular requalification for the gas chamber?
Nope. One
I
time
think
only.
that's something that must really just be a Marine Corps thing. Because yeah, we had to do that.
So many jokes.
I know, like almost every year. Although after a certain point, especially like depending on who's running it, we just kind of have fun with it. So like we go through and do like the regular, gas chamber qualification, and then of course, they still have tons of, pellets left or whatever they're throwing in there. So then we'd go in and do.
We used them as Tums.
Oh yeah. No, we do like Ironman competitions. So you strip down to just your silkies and go in and see who can last the longest in there.
Oh.
Yeah, and then everyone's just like pushing each other around and fucking around. There's always one dude I remember. He wasn't from our platoon. He's from one of the other ones, but he could just like walk in and just chill and breathe regularly and walk out, and it was just straight up like. But it's a completely different chemical concoction. It's not something you should be able to be immune to, but it just didn't seem to have any effect on him. Like he was just fine. He could spend like minutes in the gas chamber and then just walk out.
Huh, that's weird.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing it, and then like, because we only had to do it in boot camp, and they're like telling us like, oh my god, this brings back memories because I remember them going, "No talking. There's no talking. This isn't a war story. You can share them when you get back to the barracks." Blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh my god, just shut up. And they're like, and then like before we walk in, they're like, and don't be a bunch of pussies. It's like, don't just hold your breath. That's cheating. And I'm like,
it's not cool. It's just annoying.
and I'm like, dude, like they're like, and we're gonna be in there for 2 minutes, so there's no way all you guys can hold your breath. I'm like, I can hold my breath for longer than 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised.
Yeah. So I mean, I did it because I wanted to see what it felt like. It wasn't that, dude. There were some guys. There were some guys in there just like,
Oh yeah.
like they were dying. Like, you guys, what is wrong with you? Like, it's
Like
annoying.
you just kind of feel it, and that's the way I describe it. Like you feel the shape of your lungs. You just kind of like feel everything that it goes into inside your body, but not in a way that you can't just like, all right, I can just breathe my way through this.
Yeah, it stings real bad.
The less you panic, the better you are.
Well, yeah, because you're not breathing as much.
Yeah. And then people just start hyperventilating and freaking themselves out. Just make it worse.
Oh, that guy that I was telling you about, he used to take OC spray and spray his food with it.
Oh my god.
So he could taste something, because he had no response to it. So like all these spices, like he had never really gave him a lot of flavor.
Just like drink a bunch of antifreeze as a kid?
I don't know. The guy was he was he was a weird character. He was very straight laced, and he was very like he had a sense of humor, but he wasn't goofy very often. And like I remember, he was the same guy who sold monsters on my ship and tried to like he's the one who yelled at me for selling monsters, and like was gonna throw my stuff out.
Just like straight drug dealer style.
Yeah. Like, this is my territory, bitch. And I'm like, all right, man.
Cutting into my product.
Yeah. I will give you that hot sauce again. Oh, no. But yeah, I remember him like just taking OC. Oh, yeah, that's what I remember him doing. Okay, so he would take this Satan's blood, right? Super hot stuff. It'd burn everybody's mouth. I mean, you can get used to it. It's not gonna kill you, but I mean, if you're uninitiated to hot food, and then that's the first thing that you try, and you take a big gulp of it, yeah, you could probably go into shock because your body is going crazy. But other than that, you're just going to be uncomfortable for a little bit. So we had those trays, right, with the little separate little, compartments.
Yeah.
He would pour Satan's blood in one of the compartments and dip his food into it. I mean, fine, whatever. Yeah. We've already know this guy he has no response to it, so whatever. Problem was, do you know how you clean those trays off?
How?
Yeah, so it got tossed into the galley, and then the dude who was cranking at the time grabbed the sprayer, and he was, you just spray off every tray that comes in. That's how you get all the stuff off. So he sprays that corner of the tray. It aerosolized, and all we didn't hear any. All we heard was, and he's like, all four of them came running out of the galley like crying. It was like the gas chamber all over again.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, man. Yeah, we're trying to get a little creative with some of the cooking here, just to change things up. Especially, we're not doing a ton of eating out right now.
I found a website that does meals, and it's actually not that expensive. I just looked at it the other day, but we have
like a month's worth of food in the fridge to get through right now.
Oh no, not that. I just meant in future, like for the future reference, like if ever you're going somewhere and like you're going to be staying somewhere for like a month, right, or like a couple weeks or whatever, and you just you can have like these meals delivered there. It's a meal delivery service. You can just have the meals there ready for when you go. And that way you don't need to worry about going shopping, or like maybe you don't want to go out. You just want to like stay in.
Interesting.
Dang it. What is it called? Anyway, it's based in, I think North Dakota. And it's really freaking, like I said, it's not that expensive. Like each meal ends up being only like, it's called Power Plate Meals.
Power Plate Meals.
Yeah. So they do free shipping on 12 meals or more. And I think the average price of a meal is like probably $9. Like I saw a lot of them on there for like $8, $7.50, $9, $10, right? So it's $120 for 12 meals. So it's not super cheap, but if you're going somewhere,
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so like I said, like if you're going somewhere, right? Like going on vacation, right? Going on vacation, you're going to be in a hotel for a week. You're like, I don't feel like going out. just order a bunch of food, have it delivered to the hotel, and put it in the fridge while you're there, and you can just heat it up or do whatever you need to do with it while
Hmm.
you're there. Yeah, and or like times like now, you order a bunch of food and get it sent to you, and then like because you're getting bored, and then you have meals already made, and it's one of those places that's made around like fitness meals, obviously. Power Plate,
Nice.
that's why it's called that. So
That's pretty legit. I'm actually gonna check. I'm gonna fuck around with that a little bit tonight. Check it out. That would be very helpful for when I do a lot of the trips that I have to do with my work. I'm living out of hotels, especially because
yeah,
that might actually save me a lot on per diem too.
yeah. I mean, so it might. So here's
Because
the thing.
if I calculate out like what's my per diem gonna be for however long I'm there, and then just fill in X amount of meals,
Oh
that might
yeah,
be that might actually be worth it.
yeah, and I've never ordered from it. It was a recommendation. Like I know somebody who uses it,
Hmm.
and they were sending me like I asked him what they were. I asked him what he was eating, and he was like, "Oh, well, these things, and this thing." And I'm like, "Where? Like, are you making that crap?" And he's like, "No, I ordered it from this thing." I'm like, okay, that makes more sense.
Hmm.
So he likes it.
Interesting. Legit. Thanks for the recommendation. Oh man. Also,
Dude,
thank you for Camel Camel Camel. I cannot believe I didn't know about that website.
yeah, it's
It's
fantastic.
I told I told my freaking banker about that because I forgot what we were talking about. We were talking about some video game or something that I just like tagged on that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I just wait for it to go down to the lowest price and then I'll buy it." And he's like, "What?" He'd never heard of it either.
It's fantastic,
So yeah,
right?
I tell everybody about it now because I'm like I'm never gonna buy anything on Amazon without using that first.
It's the graph that does it for me because you can
Oh
really
yeah.
see.
Okay, so
Uh,
this is really the lowest I can get this
yeah,
for. Then cool. I'm gonna put my alert down here, and that's when I'm gonna buy it.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Today, what do we do around the house today? What were you doing? Oh, like so I gave the dogs a bath yesterday. Gave the dogs a bath and they went outside. It's snowing again today, by the way, in
I
Illinois.
heard. Yeah, have fun with that.
I don't care. I like snow. It's not a big deal to me, but the other people in this house don't like it. Anyway,
Hey.
so we got mulch today to put down in the backyard so that the dogs don't make it all muddy like where they run. Clean the house a little bit. Started reorganizing stuff. Um, and then like when after we washed the dogs, they went out in the backyard to go to the bathroom, and then they came back. And their paws were muddy. I'm like, God dang it! Like I just gave you a bath. They make this thing. It's like a cup, and it has brushes and like bristles on the inside of it. And you just take their paw and go like this.
Hmm.
You put it inside the cup, pull it out, and it's all clean. And then you just rinse the cup out eventually.
You might have to send me that.
Well, yeah, and I was like, I was gonna buy it like years ago. And Ashley was like, "Why would you do that? We could just wipe it off with a towel." And at the time, we were super hard up for money, way more hard up than we are now. And she was like, "That's stupid. We have towels." I'm like, "Good point." And then 8 years later, like I'm like, "God dang it! Why did we get that stupid thing?"
Oh, hey, when it works, it works. Yeah. Luckily, it's not too muddy here, but especially maybe for the summer. It doesn't really rain a lot here, which is surprising. Because everyone thinks Washington State, and they're just like, oh, just, do you ever see any sunshine? But yeah, it's. I pretty much describe it as like I live in Canada, not the Washington State that you think of.
Well, you live on the other side of the mountains, which is like a semi-arid, right?
Technically high desert, but it's pretty much
Yeah,
just coniferous forest everywhere around here. Like
yeah.
like it's basically it looks like Canada
Do you
if you
guys you
drive
guys
through
get
Canada.
snow though?
Tons, but it
Yeah.
also doesn't get cold. It doesn't drop below zero, like ever. So we get tons of snow, but it never actually gets cold. Like I think the coldest I remember even getting this winter was like 20s, maybe like low 20s.
That's weird.
It's awesome. It's like kind of the perfect temperature range, and even during the summer, like it'll get into the 80s, but I don't think it ever even got close to 100. So it just stays in that like nice tight temperature range throughout the year. And then you get
Huh.
really long sunny days in the summer because of how north we are. And then, winter kind of sucks because tons of darkness. But Yeah, like I said, lots of snow. But people suck at driving in the snow here. Like,
Why?
way more than Chicago. I don't get it. It's like it surprises them every year that it snows. I was so confused as I was driving around this year. I'm like, what are you all doing? You all like I haven't
Do
even
they
lived here a
drive
year.
slow?
No,
Oh,
everyone
they
just
just
think everyone just thinks like, oh, I have a truck. I'm just gonna. I forgot how to drive in the snow. I know.
idiots.
Although I will say, living up here makes me want to buy a Subaru so bad, and I wish I'd had one back in Chicago.
Um, so I've been debating, like my next car purchase is
50% of cars here are Subarus.
yeah, no, no, okay. So here's the problem with Subaru, and it's not their long-term reliability is actually really good. The problem, they have one, it's a fatal flaw if you don't do proper maintenance. Because it's a flat, especially in the FJ, I forget the model number, but there's a model number engine
Yeah.
that ran for a very long time. So it's a flat 4 and a flat 6 that they have in their cars. So that means the pistons, like the heads are over here on the sides. So their head gaskets are right here. Because of the way they sit and because of how thin they are, there's oil and stuff that seeps and it drips and it soaks into the head gasket and it causes head gasket failures. So head gasket failure could mean a blown engine.
Mm.
Right? So like I said, it's a fatal flaw, but you're supposed to replace your head gaskets at I think on those at like 100,000 miles or something like that. So if you
Okay.
did so if you did the head gasket, then you're probably fine. Um and because the engines are boxer engines, they're really light and they're small. So you can actually, if you have like a moderately sized engine hoist or a tree and a chain, you could probably take the engine out yourself and do it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think after seeing how fucking nice they are for driving in the snow, I'm probably gonna switch over to Subaru for the next car. But yeah, I actually hadn't heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, because I'm still debating. Like I'm looking at like I still have so my car is still running. Um yeah,
Still kicking.
I know. I
Good
got
for it.
over 300,000 on it. So it's still working. I just bought her the Toyota 4Runner. Um,
My
that's a
neighbor just got one of those. It's
dude.
a
It's
nice car.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a very simple car. There's very little frills. We have the TRD, not the Pro, but the TRD off road. So it actually has a physical, like actual shifter. So you shift it into four high, four low.
Hmm.
Not a dial. So there's nothing electronic. It's just levers, and you're pulling it into four. So that there's nothing that can break there. Nothing electronic that can break. The screen on it is old school. There's very little like I said, no frills. Very little extra stuff on there. The engine is a 6-cylinder, a V6, no turbo. And it produces like 250 or 275 horsepower or whatever. It's not a lot for that engine. Good. That means it's gonna run forever.
Yeah.
It's lifted off the ground. It's got beefy ass tires. It's made to go off road, so um, it's just made to last for a very long time. And if you try to buy a 4Runner, good luck finding one under 10 grand made in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah. No, those
Yeah,
cars.
they
I was,
hold their value forever. And
yeah,
if you
I
buy,
was
if
looking
you're,
at them after my neighbor bought them, and I was like, "Ooh,
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna pay for that car."
I just told her when we were looking for them, and I was like, honestly, I would probably just get one that's 10 years old. She didn't want to she didn't want an older one. So I was looking at ones that were like 3, 4 years old, and you're only saving like 5 grand. I'm like, that's stupid. Plus the loan is a higher interest because it's a used car. Or I'm like,
Yeah.
forget all this. Like, just get a new one. I've never in my life wanted to buy a new car. Like it's never been a thing in my head.
Yeah.
But
I've never bought a new car.
me either. Never wanted to. But in this case, with the specific vehicle and our intended purposes of keeping it forever, I was okay with it.
Yeah, makes sense. And
But
Toyotas, you're gonna get some miles out of that.
yeah, that's the point. Is like I know it's gonna run forever, and as long as we take care of it, like one of the kids can have this in
I'm pretty sure
18
my
in
dad has
like
a
12 years.
pretty sure my dad has a Toyota Tundra that's like older than his other two kids.
Yeah, there's
And they're in high
multiple
school.
there's multiple million mile Tundras
Yeah.
with the original engine. They just
He's
have
got, I think, 300 to 350,000 on it.
yeah,
Because he had
that makes sense.
250,000 on it, and that was almost like 6 or 7 years ago.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at those. So I've been looking at other Toyotas. I've been looking at Hondas, Subarus, older Buicks. Um, the Buick because the 3800 engine, which was made by GM, it was in the Grand Am, the Chevy. It's a six-cylinder. Pretty sure it was in the Impala or the Malibu from like up to like 2005. It's the same. It's a similar engine to the one that's in my car. They run forever. Mine has 300,000 on it. And the reason why you get a Buick, who buys Buicks?
Old people
Yeah,
who don't
that's the
drive their
one.
car.
Yep. Old people who don't drive their car a lot, take care of it, and don't rag on it. Whereas people who buy Pontiacs, people who buy Chevys, like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they're, I mean, like, oh, hell yeah, we're going down. We're going, it's NASCAR. Like, like, so you want an older Buick with, like 80,000 miles on it. That thing's going to run forever. So I was looking at those. The reason, because if you buy a Toyota, you're gonna spend an extra like $3,000 or $4,000 because there's a Japanese. They call it the Japanese tax. It just means
Okay.
they're reliable cars. They're good cars, and that's why you're paying for it, extra for it. And then the problem with Subarus. There's two problems. One, they have a couple fatal flaws, depending on what model year it is. Because honestly, if I could buy a WRX, like I would love it. It'd be fantastic. I could drive stick again. It'd be great. But people who drive WRXs, they don't usually they modify them. It's very hard to find one that's stock, and the people who modify them, like they're having fun with their car. That's them, Like I am not putting that down. They purchased that vehicle and they want to do what they want to. They want to have fun with it, dude. More power to you. I don't want it after you're done. So, the Forester, on the other hand, a Subaru Forester, there is a model that comes with the same turboed engine as the WRX. From like, if you find one from like 2010, you can find them, and they're cheaper than the WRX because they don't have the prestige. I think it's like the Forester XT. Yeah, it has the turbo, so it's got the horsepower. It's not that much bigger. The Foresters are not a giant vehicle. They're smaller than the Outback. Yeah. They're super practical. I thought about getting one of those too. Outbacks are more expensive. But yeah, like Subarus are good. You just have to do a lot of research, and basically you're hoping you get a little bit lucky.
I mean, I kind of hope that pretty much every time I buy a car. Well,
Are
brother.
you still driving the one? Are you still driving that one that got hit?
No, that got totaled.
That got totaled, right? Okay.
I'm like, I am 3 totaled cars later, I think.
You totaled more of them?
I have not totaled any more cars.
I'm just kidding.
No, when I was in tech school, my wife got hit in a hit and run.
Okay, no, I remember that. Okay, yeah. I do remember that.
Some dude in a police chase just ran through a red light and just destroyed her car. Luckily, she was fine. I have no idea how. After I saw the car, I was like, "Geez, those side airbags really kicked in." I was very happy with the safety features on that Hyundai. And then we bought a Toyota Corolla when I got to Texas. That ended up getting totaled.
That's the classic military purchase of a pragmatic military member. A lot of people that's a pragmatic purchase for anybody.
A nice 5 to 6 year old Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it worked. It was a great little car. That got totaled. And now, we have a Mazda 5, which I got at just a really good deal. And I was like, this is fine, especially when I was in Texas. I think we're looking to trade it in up here. And the dealership that I bought the Hyundai I got up here for is emailed us 8 times trying to buy it off her. So I'm waiting, and I basically just keep looking at their stock to see what they have in. because I'm like, I don't see anything that I really want from me right now used. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna let them keep sending me offers, and I just check their stock every like month or two and see if they actually have something in that I'd be willing to trade it in for.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I still like the way I think about it is like I still have the Grand Am and I use it for one reason is to get to work. Like I really don't use it for anything else, so I don't care. And
I,
then I still have a Trailblazer. That's I mean, it's falling apart, but
yeah,
I can
I like
fix it
to
a little
road
bit.
trip. That's why I got a Hyundai Tucson when I got up here because I didn't
Oh,
want
okay.
like yeah I like I like Hyundais. They're just they're fine cars.
They're
I
not
get what I
bad.
need from it. I know I'm not going to have it forever. Yeah, and I just want something that I can get good gas mileage on because we like to get around and especially driving, and also just something that I can get out of the mud if I get stuck in the mud. But for the most part, it just does what I need it to do.
Yeah, the only problem with Hyundais and Kia, because they own Kia, is their Korean cars have they're a little bit more difficult to work on.
Which is
So if
fine
you're
for
not
me
planning,
because I don't do any work
yeah,
on
that's what I'm
it.
saying. Like
Yeah.
if you're not planning on working on your car, it don't matter. Yeah, I was looking at getting the Kia Telluride. That thing's really nice. It's a big ass SUV. It's actually not that big.
And see,
It's
that's
still
kind of what I
pretty
wanted.
big.
I
It's
just
awesome.
wanted like a reasonable sized SUV and something that I could get good gas mileage on. And I was like, all right, yeah, this will do. This
Yeah.
can get me around in the snow when I throw some snow tires on it, and yeah, I'm good.
Well, I mean, if you find something that you like, it is good for transportation. Like as much as I'd like a fun car, I
I
think I might just stick to motorcycles.
and see that's me. I have no interest in fun cars.
I miss my GTO sometimes.
Yeah.
I really do. That thing, like I dailied that car for a long time too. It was uh, it was perfectly fine for literally everything. And especially in the summer because I didn't drive it in the winter
Hmm.
because I bought it in California, so it never experienced snow. The bottom was completely unrusted, and I garage kept it every winter here. And then when I sold it to a guy who is he sends me videos every so often because he put a supercharger in it, and
Nice.
but yeah, he takes care of it. He's working on the car, like he's working on it, and he's using the car for like what it's supposed to be used for. It's like it's a fun car, so I'm glad like he's using it. But I do miss being able to like downshift in traffic and just like go past everyone. I miss the rumble of a V8. I miss
I have a feeling we are two very different drivers. I
No,
am.
I don't even
I,
drive like that.
I,
I'm like I drive like an 80-year-old woman now.
I drive like an older. I drive like an 85-year-old woman. That's just how I go. But you know what? It works for me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
I
I drive
I
slow
just
because I have nowhere to go.
yeah. See, I actually just prepare the time it takes me to get to work into my schedule, and I'm never late anywhere.
Oh,
So I
like an
just
adult.
yeah. So I just laugh at people that are rushing through traffic. So I'm like, you're just risking your life to save because you didn't plan your day out properly. It's an
I
interesting way
mean,
to go about life.
I drive like every so often I will have actually not no. I don't drive like that anymore to get to a place fast. I do that sometimes when it's like because 290 here, the average speed on there is over 70 miles an hour. So if you're doing
Yeah.
80, it's really not a big deal. So I mean, because there's plenty of people doing 80, 85,
Well,
90.
that's different than like driving on Ogden and going like 10 miles per hour over or something like that. When
Yeah,
you actually
like
have like traffic and people trying to turn in places. Like that's where I'm like, you're out of your mind if you're speeding on this road.
okay, I will tell you maybe where we differ, but also, so uh, I have a real annoyance with people who don't understand where they're driving. So there's an Army Trail road.
Hmm.
There's a series of lights. Oh crap!
Are you dying?
I might be. No, it's from oh man, it's from cleaning the house.
Oh, yeah, just chemicals.
I swear I'm allergic to dogs and cats. I really am. It's just a minor allergy and it just builds up over time. Anyway, so there's a series of lights. 5 of them are connected. So when the first one goes yellow, the next one is going to go yellow. And it's going to be like a chain. So if you don't make that first one or you're going too slow, like if you're behind 2 trucks or behind 2 people who don't understand what's about to happen, like I'm just like, God dang it, move. Like we're going to get stuck and it's going to like it's like I have like a little bit of anxiety and like I'll swerve around people who are driving way too slow or going under the speed limit. It's like if you're going under, yeah, like there's people who are driving under the speed limit or at the speed limit next to someone who's going the exact same speed. That drives me fucking bonkers. What are you doing? Go either get behind him, in front of him, or turn.
That's just situational awareness. That's just people don't know how to drive. That's
so fair. That is one of the things that I have like a little bit of anxiety while I'm driving. Other than that, I'm good. Like I drive super slow now. I am like I've got nowhere to be and I don't race people anymore. I used to do that a lot when I was younger. Like right after I bought the car, especially because I had a lot of Mustangs who thought they could.
It's almost like insurance costs go down after 25 for a reason.
Yeah. Also, if you have like family and kids and like they're like, oh, he probably doesn't want to die, so we're gonna go ahead and lower his insurance fee. All right, man.
On that note, I think I'm gonna call it a night because I gotta go get ready to go to sleep.
I gotta go wash my hands and make sure I don't get any of this spicy shit in my eyes.
Yeah, go clean yourself. Well, for everyone that stuck it out with us during this quarantine episode, even though there was no fight talk whatsoever.
Oh yeah. Well, there's not gonna be. That's not our fault.
I know. We're just gonna talk about what's going on in our lives, which is quarantine stuff.
Yeah. Downing hot sauces.
Yep.
All right. That was the last time we ever saw him. On his obituary, it said he liked to drive fast cars, then he stopped driving fast cars, then he drank a lot of hot sauce. The end. What a sad existence he lived. Anyway, later, bud. As always, good talking to you. Thank you for everybody for listening. If you're watching this on YouTube, awesome. Leave some comments and subscribe. If you're not, we have it on YouTube, and you can see our beautiful faces as usual. And yeah, I hope everybody has an amazing day. Enjoy whatever time you have with your family, spending time indoors, working on yourself as a person, finding new hobbies that you can enjoy. Really getting to know about who you are as a person as opposed to what you've fallen into the last couple of years.
There you go. Work out and check out LinkedIn Learning. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, apparently check that. Yeah, LinkedIn Learning. They've got a hit us up for sponsorship. Come on, LinkedIn.
Hey. I got you.
All right, bud.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too. See you later, dude.
Later.